G'day my friends, Marty Ware here from Marty's Garden, and I thought I'd take you for a little tour around my backyard, my small micro farm as I'm slowly setting up, and just give you a bit of a bird's eye view of what I'm doing, and you can have a little bit of a check around and I'll throw some tips in along the way. Alright, let's enjoy the, I guess you could call it a backyard Marty's tour. So here we have the vertical stands that I'm using. These are just like stands that I buy from Bunnings, and they have a greenhouse shade cloth on them. The rice husk is doing pretty well, and I just come along and I just hit them with a little bit of a spray bottle when it's getting dry in the beginning stages. But as they start coming up like this, you don't really have to worry too much. They've already got their roots into the ground, the moisture's there, and they're starting to pop their heads through. So I can take that lid off. You can see the lid's on there. I can actually take that lid off now and just let them rear their heads and bring them out into the sun. Similar with this guy here, this one's covered over and ready to come out into the open as well. And it's pretty interesting. There's some kale there, some microgreens kale, and that's some rocket growing in the larger punnets. And that's pretty much for me and Karen to eat. And these guys, they will move out into the sunnier position later on the day, because I've just done a harvest this morning and sold to 2 restaurants, and so we've got some space out on the other racks where I'll take you and show you now. It's a little bit windy, so we'll see how we go, eh? The permaculture chicken farm. Yes, the chickens were sold yesterday. I want to do a bit of camping and get out and do a bit more exploring. We've got some other things going on, and I won't have time to take care of the chickens, but they did do an awesome job providing plenty of food and plenty of manure and stuff back for the garden, and that all that soil in here that you can see in here is going to be dug out eventually and put back into garden beds. It's just, it's really alive. This was basically sand here, so to turn that into a sandy loam within 1 year, it's pretty amazing. And we've got the papayas here. Now I grow these papayas. These are going here for permanent, and once they get up higher I'll be able to grow other smaller plants underneath, such as tomatoes and chilies and things like that. Here we've got the mushroom plant growing over here. Tastes like mushrooms, pretty cool, I really like it. And then we've got our Egyptian spinach, which is going into seed. And I actually sell the papaya plants, and I sell them online, and they do quite well. We just got some little seedlings down here. Some more as we come around. You can see we've got passion fruits, quite a few passion fruit on this. This is the first season that it's grown, and there's one up here I can see. It's ready for harvest. We'll just grab it out there, and there's some breakfast, or I'll give it to one of the boys. I think we might have a couple there. And so it's pretty sad to see the chickens go, but Karen was finding it a bit hard work, so taking care of them all the time, and they've actually gone to a better place. They've gone out to a farm out at Maynarm, and they're just going to be fully free ranging out there, so we're pretty happy about that. Here's one of the papaya plants I just potted up yesterday. That'll eventually go for sale. I need to put that in the shade actually, because it's just been repotted. Strawberries that have been repotted, and this is sort of like my grow table thing here. Some chilies going here, some basil herbs, and these are the black cherry tomato. I can't remember the exact name. They're not indigo, they're something else. I've just bred them on from last season, and they'll be getting more used to this local environment. And you can see remember, if you've been watching the other videos about the Egyptian spinach, how stoked I am. Well, you can see here that it's gotten so big that it's just fallen over on itself. And I'm speaking to one of the chefs. You can see it's browning off there. I've spoken to one of the chefs at the Roadhouse Cafe, and if you're listening to this, Sky, thanks for the tip. Apparently once they brown off, they split open, and then you just pop the seeds around the place. But I'm going to collect the seed, and I'll sprinkle some around the yard as well. So it's unreal how nature works and how God invented all these systems. It just gets top heavy, falls on itself, splits the seed open and spreads the seed around. It's very cool. The kaffir lime, it's getting some little limes on it, which is great, and I'm going to have to do some aerial cuttings off that once this is finished, and just dedicate this pot to the kaffir lime tree, because I want to actually start selling kaffir lime leaves eventually to the restaurants. Here's some more tomatoes, and we'll head over to the other shelving. Now I just took these from here, so they've just gone off to the restaurants, and these guys are, that's about a week old, a few more days to go. And some strawberries down here, the lemongrass that I make the lemongrass ginger tea with. If you haven't seen that video, look at lemongrass ginger tea, Marty's garden. I'm pretty sure these are dwarf papaya trees. Now I'm actually stunting them as much as I can, and I'm going to grow them on and eventually try and make my own, develop my own smaller variety of papaya tree. Just got some money succulent in the back here, and you can see I've got this netting over the top of these sunflower and radish microgreens. Reason being is the doves get in there and they pull them out and grab the seeds and things, and these guys will be ready for harvest in a couple of days. So, you know, I'm slowly moving forward. I'm not in any real rush to move too fast. It's just not a good idea, I found, in business, to overdo it. If you can't supply your market, makes you look bad, and so you just slowly work into what you can do. Even if you're doing this as a part-time business, it can be profitable if you've got the time and the experience of how to grow these microgreens and micro farms. Like, I will get around about $5 a plant for those at the moment, these cherry tomatoes, where I grow them on. They're starting to get flowers on them now, where I grow them on to sell as fruit, or as I sell them as plants like I do the papaya trees. I'm not real sure yet. We're going to develop some products for the chilies in the future, and keep working. This is one of the smaller seedlings for the Egyptian spinach, and keep working with that, and just keep moving forward slowly and developing. I'm sort of heading in more of an Asian style dishes and working towards that market eventually. So this is how I trap the water off the roof that I use on the microgreens and into the worm palms. Matt built this, the owner of the house, and it just goes down through these little siphons and then fills up this bin. Now that filled up that bin we had about half full, and overnight we had some rain and it's nice and full now. And I throw a little bit of lime in there sometimes just to alkaline the water when I'm throwing into other things. It automatically puts a bit of mineral back into the soil and back into the pot plants. So that's how I collect my water from the roof for the microgreens, and it's fresh, clean rainwater. Okay, this is the worm casting and composting harvesting system, where I actually have the flow through method. So it's got a flow through fast. It's not leachate where you've just grabbed the little drops. It's actually a flow through farm method that I developed, and it creates lots of beneficial microbes and works really awesome on my plants as a free fertilizer. So that one's looking pretty old now. It's lost its legs, the bucket's there, and I pour a whole bucket through. I come back in about 10 to 15 minutes and collect it. Now if you put more manure in it in the top, you get a better fertilizer as well, especially when the worms start eating it. Now I get the spent microgreens, so from the trays, throw them on top of the pile. I throw in a couple of handfuls of chook pellets, organic chook pellets if I can get it, and I throw in a couple of handfuls of lime, and then I just use the old pitchfork over here to mix it through, and I just keep recycling. You can see like the sunflower sprouts are coming up there, and I throw in the rice husk as well, because it's already got vermiculite through it from the last season. So I'm throwing in rice husk as well to make it more fluffy, light and aerated, and I'm finding that's working great. And there's actually compost worms right through this too, because I find them in the trays all the time, so they're eating whatever's in here. I just try and grow from the back, well, fill up from the back, and then I take from the front here as I'm farming. Now there's a whole lot of spent microgreens in there, and if we just open this up, we can probably find you some worms. Just to give you a look, let's hope they're there. Yep, there they are, look. Now there's different layers of cardboard and then spent compost from the trays, so I find that they lay the eggs in between the cardboard layers, and when it's ready I will harvest from the bottom here. I will take the top lot, so the top quarter, and put that into a foam box, and then I will start filling it, and I'll start filling it up again and just throwing the worms back in, and it's just recycling over and over. I'm not at that stage yet to sell any worms, but it's working for me, and I don't really have to go and buy any compost, hardly ever, because it's just recycling the whole time. I probably will have to in the next few months, so about 2 square meters, so that's 2 cubic feet around a year, to supply the number of restaurants that I have. And I grab some stuff from where I can and mix it around as well, which adds to it. So there's a quick tour of Marty's garden and the micro farm here in Byron Bay, Australia. It's slowly moving forward, and you know, I'm really happy to be here and just be getting some food out to the market and growing some fresh food for at home, and for Cara and my daughter and others to learn along the way. If you haven't subscribed to Marty's Garden already and you want to learn more about growing fast food in urban places and small spaces, please follow Marty's Garden. It's a great place to come and learn how to grow food. Now, I'm going to have some more videos coming up soon, and obviously it's going to be about growing food in your backyard. Alright, have a great day, happy gardening, and we'll see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.